So, what I am introducing to you today is really simple breath and movement that for beginners of yoga or people who are a little intimidated by it or think that it's about fancy leg positions and arm positions, this is really just to show you the essence, which is about finding peace, moving your body to your breath, letting your breath lead the way, getting grounded in your breath, and cultivating that peace inside. So, for people who have dealt with trauma or don't really have healthy coping strategies for their bodies, this is a way of just starting to get in tune with your body, starting to listen, starting to slow down. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a very, very simple practice that I would do with anybody of any age as they're getting a little acclimated to yoga, which really means union. So it's not about just positions. It's about getting to a place where you feel really connected with divine energy and you see that divine spark inside you and you feel it around you through other people, through nature, and just through your sort of essence in the world. Okay, so you're going to sit in your chair, and the important thing about yoga practices is a straight spine. So you don't want to be hunched over, you don't want to be sideways, you don't want to be cocking your hip. You're going to find a way to sit with your feet planted firmly on the floor, your spine straight, and then you're going to just check in with your body in your chair. So you're going to sit straight, close the eyes, nice deep inhale, and exhale out of the mouth. So I always start a yoga practice with 5 cleansing breaths because I feel like it takes a lot of stagnant energy and it just moves it out. So we're going to do 5 cleansing breaths. Inhale. And then exhale. And the best way is to imagine you're fogging up a mirror with your breath. So inhale. Three more breaths. Just keep breathing. And last one. So one thing about trauma and abuse is that we start to disconnect from our bodies. So we sort of shut down and then we become kind of walking heads and talking heads. And we're afraid to sort of sense into the lower parts of ourselves. We're afraid to feel our bodies and be in our bodies because usually due to abuse or trauma or other life events, our body at one point did not feel like a safe place to be. The feelings and the emotions and the experience of suffering was too intense. So this is about retraining yourself to get more focused on living in your body, experiencing your body, and letting it be a safe place. So in yoga, we do Yujaya breathing for Hatha yoga. So the cleansing breaths are a way to sort of get the energy out. Yujaya breathing is activating the back of your throat and doing something very similar to what we just did, except you close your lips and you breathe that way. So you can hear it like the ocean if you listen. So if it helps to bring your hand to your throat and inhale and activate. So instead of blowing the air out, you're just keeping the lips closed, but you're still activating like you'd be fogging a mirror. So take a couple more, be mindful of the throat. And the focus is really just breathing and slowing down your body, slowing down your nervous system. So maybe try about 2 more. And so the more we breathe, the more we notice. Sometimes tension comes up, fear comes up around the fact that we have to breathe. Um, there's something about, I don't know, inside us, a fight or flight or an awareness of our own mortality that when you start to breathe, if you haven't really done it before, it can be a little bit scary. So it's not like a right or wrong. There's no passing the test. There's no ABC. It's just learning how to do it and being kind and gentle to yourself throughout that process. Another thing that we often forget to do is to breathe deeply into our bellies. And so, a lot of us, when we're anxious, which trauma and abuse can cause that, we kind of hunch, or not really hunch, what am I saying? Squeeze our shoulders up, tighten everything, and then just really breathe shallowly from our lungs. And we're not really getting like a nice, deep, full breath. And the deep, full breath that goes into the belly and the solar plexus that you can then exhale is really the way of easing tension and releasing stress. So we have to work a little bit on that process. And it involves touching your body, getting comfortable with your body. So if you want to take your hand to your belly, and I always use this as an opportunity to like send your belly love, because all the great spiritual teachers, except maybe Jesus, I don't think he had a belly, but perhaps he did, and we just see the wrong pictures. Buddha and all the yogis, if you look at them, they have bellies. I don't know. They didn't do a lot of Pilates. I don't know if what that's about. So just enjoy your belly, feel your belly if you have one. If you don't have one, that's great too. So you're going to inhale and feel your belly. Push out your hand and then exhale back, contracting. So we're just listening to the breath. And if it's helpful to form your lips into a circle, you can form them into a circle. To exhale and get some stuff out of there. And do 2 more of those. So when I find energy is really intense, if I'm feeling something intense, I start to do that circle breath. It's almost like a breath of fire in certain traditions, and it just allows some things in the solar plexus that are causing me nervousness and anxiety to sort of just come out energetically in a nice, cool stream. So that's another thing that you can do in terms of working on your breath to calm yourself down. So then next we move with the breath. So we're going to continue doing that breath, and this time we're going to keep the mouth closed and we're going to activate the back of the throat. So on your inhale, you're going to take those arms, just make sure that your shoulders aren't up like this. They're nice, they're moved away. And we're going to inhale, arms up on the inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to turn those palms and come down straight. So you can open the mouth if you prefer, or you can keep it closed, just inhaling, exhaling. So you're going to start to listen to your body and listen to what your body needs. Some people have a lot of extra tension, so blowing out with an open mouth can be helpful as long as it's a deeper exhale. Inhale now. So I'm just feeling my arms on the inhale, rising up, trying to match my movement with breath. Couple more breaths. And finishing up, last one. So the other thing about yoga, and what's tricky about it, is that it's really about separating us from our egos. Our egos are the part of us that is self-conscious. It wants everybody to think a certain thing of us. We want to project a certain image and look a certain way. And in yoga classes, for instance, sometimes it becomes more about performance and the way it looks to other people than about your own internal practice. So, yoga teachers will often say, this is your practice, so listen to yourself. So, as I'm sharing these really simple postures with you, nothing is flashy. It's about listening even to your breath. If I have extra tension and I'm blowing with an open mouth, or if I'm able to close my mouth and kind of calm my nervous system, you sort of can feel your way through. But traditionally, hatha yoga is done mostly with the mouth closed. And then every once in a while, there might be a bigger breath or a bigger exhale that's cleansing. And that's letting some things go and then moving back into that internal, it's almost like a kind of fire that you establish, or a bonfire, not any sort of wildfire, but a nice bonfire inside. So that's a really simple practice. Inhaling up, exhaling down with the eyes closed. I find the eyes closed can be helpful, but if you prefer to balance with your eyes open, you can do that too. So that's one simple posture that if you did for about 5 minutes or even 3 minutes, you're going to be able to establish calm internally. Even if you do that a little bit every single day, you're going to start to cultivate something. So other options for your chair, I'll just give you one other. If you want something a little fancier, because you like things fancy, as you can tell, I like things fancy. And I also have my Frida on. Frida liked some fancy stuff, and she also dealt with a lot of suffering, a lot of struggle, and she still kept her joy. She found her joy in her creativity, so she's an inspiration. So we can do something very simple like this. If you want to do something that's a little bit more activating, a little more strengthening, and you want to stay in your chair, I'm going to show you a modified warrior pose, if I can show you here. So you're going to open the legs so that one leg is over the edge of the chair, and then you're just going to keep the other one straight ahead. So typically in warrior, we have things moved a little bit further apart, but for this warrior, I'm just having you do a nice open leg, okay? And then you're going to open the arms. So this is really, you can really feel this in the arms, even though it's pretty simple. So if you're opening your left leg over the edge of the chair and you're keeping a nice straight spine, tucking that pelvis a little bit so that you're not arching like this. You're tucking the pelvis, you're staying straight, and then you're going to reach the arms out. So you're looking out over the left fingertips. The right arm is behind you, so try to check that it's not jagged all over the place. It's straight. And you're going to look over the left fingertips and breathe. So cultivate that breath. Check in with your shoulders that they're not hunching up. Each exhale should let your shoulders relax a little bit more. So just focusing on your breath. Maybe you have a spot for your gaze. And then when you're done, you release those arms down at the sides. So that is a modified warrior for chair. And then we're going to even it out because symmetry is a pretty important thing here. So your other side, right? Bringing that right leg over and the left leg straight out. Keeping that spine straight. You're going to extend the right arm, extend the left arm behind, look out over the right fingertip. So if you like to keep your arms open, you can. Eyes open. I like to close my eyes because it helps me focus internally. But either way, you're going to breathe. And each time you breathe, you're relaxing those shoulders. Just being conscious of your breath. Anytime your mind wanders, return to that breath. And finishing up, relax. If you want, coming back to center, you can do a little shoulder shrug with breath. So inhaling the shoulders up. Exhaling down, move with breath. So you're just joining your breath with your movement. A couple more. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale down. Do about 2 more. And finishing that up. And we're going to come into the last posture for this chair yoga, which is goddess. So for goddess, you're coming to the edge of your chair, and I'll show you my feet. So I'm coming to the edge and I'm bringing my knees out and my feet out, right? So I have a nice wide stance. And then I'm going to bring the arms into goddess. So there's different versions of goddess, and you can do more. I often do a series of goddess poses in my yoga practice or when I'm teaching, where I inhale for a while with arms straight up. I do a lot with the arms straight to the sides. But the classic goddess is perpendicular arms or cactus arms and very wide palms, almost as though you're pressing against a pane of glass. So as you breathe here, you're going to get grounded and feel your feet rooted in the floor. Imagine they're like a tree trunk. You're going to find that breath. Focus on the inhale and the exhale. Imagine yourself pulling up that earth energy like a tree would from its roots. Inhaling and exhaling. At any time, if you want to take a cleansing breath, take a cleansing breath. And again, if you want to move with breath, you can have your inhale open, exhaling, bringing arms together. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Do a couple more of those. Focusing on your breath. Maybe your third eye or middle of your forehead is a helpful place to bring some attention to. And finishing up here. And then gently bring those hands down to the sides. So a nice way to start and end a practice, I think. There's a dog outside if you can't hear. I don't know why the dog is barking. Is scent. So I like scent or sound, something that brings you into your senses to sort of establish, hey, I'm taking time for myself right now. I'm going to either listen to something, or I'm going to burn a candle, or I'm going to listen, or I'm going to light something so that I can feel a little more like this. I'm creating a sacred space for myself and taking care of myself. So you can do, to finish or to start, you can do your medicine bowl if you have one. Or you can just ask your neighbor to let the dog bark. You could also do that. Just say, hey, can you put that dog on? Because I'm about to do yoga and I want to listen to the dog bark. You could do that. That's a possibility. I'm sure they would let the dog out. And or I have sage or Palo Santo. So either one is nice. You can order it online. You can get it at like a natural store, natural grocery, anywhere crystals are sold. So you can end your practice with just clearing any energy around, anything negative, moving that. That's your sage. Another beautiful option if you like the scent is Palo Santo. So totally up to you. But doing maybe one at the outset of the practice and then one at the end just gets you in a place and it gets you in a zone. And it automatically, it's almost like a switch goes on and you're like, okay, I'm ready. This is my time. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments.